Fantastic here. Today we're going to be discussing the new rule changes for karate combat regarding the downed opponent, ground striking, and how that's going to be dealt with. Now, there was some talk in the forums on Discord and on the internet about if is this changing things to MMA. I don't believe so. There's always been follow-up attacks in karate. There's always been joint lock submissions. This is where this modern jiu-jitsu, judo is coming from. However, it is still going to be a striking-oriented promotion and an event, and they are actually starting to do some submission-oriented matches, and that's beginning at the next event at Kickback 1 here in January 26th in Miami. We're going to discuss the rules so that there isn't any confusion on why this isn't going to be a grapple fest and how this is going to just move the sport forward, not only for the action inside the pit, but also for self-defense. After that, we're going to discuss some strategic moves that I believe are going to be the meta for karate combat moving forward. So first, let's start with what is legal, what is not legal. Okay, you go get, this is my Uke Taylor, my wife. She's gonna get flat on the ground, head facing this way. And I'm going to move the camera. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Now, as of right now, you can strike standing up from the front, from the side, and also from the front. You can pressure, or there might be some of high-waisted punching here. As long as only one knee is touching the ground or no knees are touching the ground, you can still continue striking. Once both knees have hit the ground, whether it's here, or even within the guard, this position is called guard in grappling, it will be reset. Now, there also is this position, one knee down, not on them. I don't see this as a good position. It's no control. Knee on belly is allowed. Here, boom, 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 all your weight. This is not comfortable for her. I'm gonna take my weight off as I discuss. Possible answers that we already see in karate combat are the bump into a single leg. You're gonna show that real quick. I'm striking on top, boom, boom, boom. She's gonna bump, roll, go for a single leg. Try to build up from there. No need to completely discuss that. The next thing that we want to discuss is what is going to happen, or how are the fighters or karatekas in the pit going to deal with this grounded versus standing opponent. Now we're going to switch positions. You're going to be standing, I'm going to be on the ground. Now, important is first always, as the fighter on the ground, we want to keep our feet between them and us. If I can kick them, this has knockout power. This donkey kick style, large, massive posterior chain muscles. Also the quad is going to be involved. This is a laying down stomp to the face. Never forget the stomp, never forget the re-stomp. So here we go. Obviously, we want this in between them, we can be fighting. First likely scenario for the defender is the De La Riva. Showing up. She's going to have 1 foot forward as a good fighter, good athletic position, as she's already doing. I'm going to grab this behind the heel. I'm going to grab her front leg behind the heel, put my foot on her hip, put foot on her hip, and I can use this to push this back leg back, hook it. There's a lot of stuff that can be going on. She feels a little bit off balance right now already. Can you throw a strike? Go ahead, strike me in the face. Maybe a little bit, but I also have this going on, right? She pulls back, I go with her, boom, she's swept to the floor, I'm on top. That is a likely scenario. It's very easy to learn. We see it in judo, we see it everywhere in jiu-jitsu. We want to make sure that we get some type of control, switch things around. Now there's going to be all types of grappling scenarios and scrambles, people building up to single legs as we just shown, people just shoving people off, people getting in different situations. And we also find that the reason why this rule has been changing is that when people are striking, instead of the incentivized original goal of the 5-second rule, which was to make people go for the finish. People want to see the finish, but there's not a lot of finishes happening on the ground. Why? Because people are going fetal here, and they're just taking the punches, and they're almost using this as a place to rest. Not really something that you want to see if you want an action, striking-based fight. So we've got to adapt with what's going on. We're going to make them continue fighting in the ground because you shouldn't reward somebody going fetal in a fight. Right, guys? Okay, so here we go. Coming back here, I'm going to give a little bit more of a horizontal view. I'm going to have my uke get in front of me here. She's going to step again with that athletic foot right between my legs here because she's going to try to strike. She's not going to be parallel because it's not really balanced. So I'm going to grab here, behind the heel. Other one's going to go up on the hip, and this one can hook here, or it can even push. She don't like that. She don't like that. If I do this, I'm going to do this slowly. She's going to fall back. Watch, boom. And I can stand up and start striking, okay? Now, this works a lot of the time, but will it always end up in that perfect situation? You all right? You go stand up again. In that perfect situation where I'm immediately on top, I pull her, I'm going to take her. There's going to be a lot of like, I'm getting up, you're getting up. Not really always going to be a good thing. Something that I haven't seen a lot of is the combat get up, which is we're in this 3-point situation, foot, butt, hand, and this one kind of can kick, and then we can, boom, get right to standing. We see it sometimes in some of the more MMA-oriented karatekas, but however, it's something that should be learned by every fighter. Now this grappling one, very simple to learn, very simple sweep, and this get up is also very simple. We're in this situation once here, we want to keep our feet between us and our opponent. This is kind of like our jab from this position. We are able to get to a full 3-point situation or 4-point situation with our hands and feet on the ground by taking this foot, lifting up, hip heisting as we call it in American wrestling, and we are switching through here. We can get here, or we can have this hand up to protect our faces. That is a simple way to get up, as well as a simple way to reverse it. Now, something that I think also in the future that we will see is getting to a 4-pointed stand-up position from a scramble and people executing stand-ups as we do see in scholastic wrestling or folk-style wrestling or high school wrestling. Now I'm going to take a little step back. I'm not sure if that's going to catch on the microphone, but we're going to try, okay? If not, I'll do a little dub over. But I'm going to show you a stand-up from a 4-pointed position or referee position. Okay, here we go. So the situation might be something like this. They get on top of me. You're getting on top of me. Go ahead. As I'm getting to this position here. I'm getting to this position. They're getting on top of me. They don't want me to get up. They want me to get to the ground. Okay. Obviously, got to protect the face. They will be switching between trying to punch me in the face from underneath there. On top. Well, yeah, there you go. That's more of like it. Yeah, you don't want that. You got this. This is what you got this for, okay? Or they're going to be switching into gripping their hands together like she was doing right there at the beginning. There's a lot of control there. There's obviously some rolls that we can do to shuck her off, but the thing that's most likely going to happen in a situation like this is we're just trying to stand up. This is how this goes. We have katas in American wrestling as well, so we'll take a couple steps back here. Okay, get your weight back on me like that. She's kind of on top of me. All right, first thing is I'm going to take one of my feet, particularly the one that's away from her, so that I can press into her. She can press into me now, and she doesn't want me up, but I'm now building up a base. I can't go through my leg. If it's more like this, the easier. The more stretched out, the more pressure is going to go into your crotch. If you're flexible, that's all right, but you want to get in compact. See, I'm in compact here. I'm going to try to keep my elbows in, and I'm going to, with this pressure that's pushing back into her, she's going to push back into me, there's going to be equilibrium where I can start building myself up, hip heisting, and standing. Attacking the hands, bringing my hips away, and turning and fighting. This is just something that we do a lot in America in scholastic wrestling, and there's a lot of American karateka that did scholastic wrestling. We see some of this in the matches already. We already see the up kicks. We already see people doing some of the combat step-ups, but now there's more incentive to do these things because it's no longer 5 seconds. Now we need to make sure we're surviving and getting up. No more fetal position. One more technique after a break for this ad. Red Bull, it gives you wings. All right, last one. This one is absolutely classic. It's one of the moves that I first learned when I got a tape back in the early thousands when I was just a lad. Of Renzo Gracie and Craig Kukuk. This is a very basic self-defense move, and once again, it's very easy to learn like the other ones, and as they are importing in from the rules, that as long as the person on top is striking and trying to finish, or capable of striking, they'll let it go. If he stops, he's not trying to finish, he's wrapped up, they're going to start it. So it's kind of like the clinch in boxing. They're going to break it up. There are some circumstances that is up to the referee discretion, and that's absolutely fine. Right here, I'm going to show you the last one. This is once again a Renzo Craig Kukuk technique from a videotape, VHS. Here we go. The attacker is coming in my guard. They're putting maybe their hips forward a little bit. Yeah, they don't want this. I don't want this. I want them out. They're trying to strike. You're going to try to reach in on the inside, and get overhooks, and then try to bring them down to the ground. Boom, reset. Next one, same position. They're striking hard and it's wide, coming in, boom. Yeah, you're looking forward, boom. Okay, I'm going to grab my shins on the inside, and I'm going to grab an overhook on one side, keeping them from striking on one side with this overhand, this pressure with my shin, okay? I'm a little bit off screen, let's move it back a little bit so they can see, face this camera here. They can kind of see what's going on. Okay, going back up on your feet, so you gotta start here, start high when you're trying, standing up high with the base. Hips forward, no, that's hips down, hips forward. Hips are going that way, like you're doing a deadlift. Oh, right here, okay. Stop right there. Real quick, let me pause. Let's move a little farther back. I'm glad that we paused that. Okay, so she's in front of me. She's trying to strike. She's got her hips forward because I'm being crunched. She's punching me up. This is right here. This is not a legal defense. They will not stop it. In fact, that you will probably lose. So I've got to get my hips up and get those punches away. Try to move these. And when she comes in for a punch, I'm going to let it fall. Boom. Wrap one of the arms, and I'm going to get my elbow and shin in between that side. This side that I'm overwrapped, heel on the hip. This is creating a lot of tension to bring her down, and this one kind of curling her down because I'll be able to get her on both knees. I kind of already do. She's trying to strike me. Go ahead and try to strike. I'm just going to control. I can grab here too with the head. All right? It's like a clinch. We're going to turn sideways so you can see what's going on. Here, boom. I'm grabbing here. I'm overhook. It's an overhook. Knee here, and I'm grabbing here. Try to punch. Okay, I'm just trying to stop this damage from coming. Both hands, right? Boom, right. You're moving forward. I have control. These, keeping her at bay. This, over here, if you lift your head up, this knee and shin, arm complex, bringing this here, bringing the tension, pushing out at the same time, bringing this down, overhooking is going to be a good control method long enough to get the stand up. If for some reason she has this one far leg back, you can't see it, but let's see if you can. She has this far leg up, and she wants to leave. She stands up, I can push back, and I can get back up again, okay? The scramble. Wrestling, grappling, jiu-jitsu, whatever you want to call it, has always been involved in karate from the very beginning. And so in karate combat, we're trying to find fighters that are fighting, not people who are going into fetal position. And I think that even some modern grappling competition allows people to just sit down and not defend themselves. And that's not a legitimate way to protect yourself, especially when somebody can stomp you in the face. I think of Shogun Hua back in Pride, where soccer kicks and stomps are allowed. It stops a lot of grappling if you're getting stomped in the face. So you need to be able to control them. The De La Riva, that's the first option. You've got the stand-up, of course, the three-point stand-up as well, the combat stand-up. Boom. And you've got the Kukuk and Renzo Gracie, just clinch. You're going to see a lot of variations of these. I showed 2 variations myself of how it could happen. Allowing them, it's just like grappling when you're standing up in a clinch. You throw the punch and you let them fall in so that you can clinch them up. That's all right. It's all right. It's a totally legitimate technique to use and to get the stand up and to not take damage. Way more legitimate than going fetal and taking punches in the face. So with that being in mind, these are just some metas. These are paths that people can take in relation to how to defend and, in fact, respond to being taken to the ground and minimize damage and also come up on top. We have to move and adapt our fighting and style to what we're doing in the pit or in the ring. And so, Arthur Fantastic here. I hope that you enjoyed this recap. My Uke Taylor, thank you, baby girl. And we hope that you enjoyed it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on our social, which will be in the description. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Peace. Shalom.